Ride or die. Cold, these brothers my guys. Know that they fly. Know that they fly. Know that they ride or die. CJ Ike, they ain't no longer about. They ain't no longer about. They ain't no longer about. CJ Ike, they ain't no longer about. Know that they ride or die. Know that they ride or die. I keep wave on my sleep. Know that they ride or die. I keep wave on my sleep. We hustle, but the night. Wave on my sleep. Know that they ride or die.
Hello, cousin. I am Uncle Mike, your favorite YouTuber's favorite uncle, and we are back here with episode 8 of Unusual Attitude, my YouTube podcast where we fly flight simulator here on the Xbox Series X. And tonight we are flying from Asheville, North Carolina into Charlotte International Airport in Charlotte, North Carolina. So about a little, maybe right around an hour flight or something like that. So we're going from Appalachia down to the Piedmont and all that. So before I get going here, let me go ahead and put on my flying eyes. They're watching you. So I got my flying eyes on here. And so, yeah, tonight's topic is space for a multitude of reasons, which we will talk about once we get up into cruise altitude. So with that, click that like button if you do, subscribe if you haven't, comment, share, come join me in chat in a future live stream if you're not already here. And with that, let's go ahead and game on. So here we are in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And we are ready to go here in the Cessna 337 Skymaster, which is a cool, funky, neat design airplane down here. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's go ahead and get into the cockpit. And here's what we're flying tonight, November 3-6. Uniform Mike, or 3-6, Uncle Mike, as we would like to say. With our Cessna Skymaster here, we're ready to go, runway 35. Here in Asheville, North Carolina. But you can see it is a tractor pusher twin engine. It is amazing. If you haven't seen the probably 1980s movie Bat 2-1, which is based on a true story, that is amazing. And the bird dog in there is a right here Cessna Skymaster. So just a really cool design. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and get back in the cockpit and let's go ahead and get going. So, all right, let's go ahead and make sure all the lights are on. And we'll go ahead and get landing lights on. Everything is looking good in the neighborhood. We'll go ahead and set some trim there. I got everything all ready to go. We're going to fly over here, like I said, from Asheville. We're going to go up to Sugar Mountain VOR. And then head down toward Chester, South Carolina, and then turn north for the ILS into runway 36 right into Charlotte. And there's a reason why I chose runway 36 right, which you will see once we get there. But yeah, everything is looking good here in the neighborhood. So, parking brake comes off. Let's add some power. There we go. And we are taxiing on out here. Got some some nice weather here. Give us some texture up here. You know, nothing too crazy. We're gonna be climbing up to 5,500 feet. It's gonna be our cruise altitude because we're out here in Appalachia, so there is Mount Mitchell and stuff that we got to be careful about here. And pretty much our VFR flight So a little brakes. We'll go ahead and line up and wait here. It's been about 4 weeks or so since I have live streamed Microsoft Flight Simulator. So all right, here we go. I see runway 35. We're in here in the Cessna 337 Skymaster. It's gonna be amazing. So yep. All right, I like what I see. Plane looks good. Everything is dialed in. So we're gonna be taking off here. We're gonna be climbing up, and then we've got a right turn to go to Sugar Mountain VOR. So, and then like I said, just a kind of a quick flight here. So, all right, let's rock and roll. No, not yet. I want to go ahead and center my heading bug. So we're all set there. Okay, now we're ready to rock and roll. Power's coming in. And looking good in the neighborhood. Airspeed is alive. 60 knots. Get that nose up there. Just kind of let her fly off all on her own. There we go. Oh, little bat. Okay. Kind of look like that 727 down in Colombia, you know. So, all right. Good speed here. So now we're going to raise the gear. This gear have a really cool mechanism even in real life, so that is really cool right there. And tuck up the gear, but those big old barn doors kind of act as a brake, so that's why I wanted to make sure I had some speed. All right, we're at good height here. I'm going to go ahead and back off the throttle. So just a nice easy manifold pressure. There we go. Nice climb out. Back off on the props here. Down to about 22,500 RPMs. There we go. Now we can go ahead and start pitching over here and accelerating the climb. Still doing good. Still below blue line, so nice and easy. Just set the trim now. All right, I like this climb here. So for that, let's go ahead and autopilot's coming on, heading mode is coming on. We'll just kind of let the plane fly here in the climb. Looking good. Just kind of still climbing up here. Passing through 4,000 feet. We're going to 5,500 feet. Alright, so one thing we're going to do now is we're going to come over here. We're going to turn on. Go ahead and turn on VOR. Let's tell Otto, our German co-pilot here, to go ahead and start making that right turn to Sugar Mountain. So here we go on to Sugar Mountain. We got about 15 miles to go before we get to Sugar Mountain. And you know how we do it here in Unusual Attitude. What we like to do is we like to go ahead and get up and cruise before we start really chatting. And our topic tonight is space, the final frontier. And again, for multiple reasons. All right, we'll just go ahead and climb up, passing through 5,000 feet. We'll start pitching over, and as we approach 5,000 feet to go on to heading mode. We'll kind of slow our ascent here. That way it's not such a dramatic, you know what I'm saying, dramatic intercept of altitude. That is Mount Mitchell right off the nose there, so that's why we're going to 5,500 feet, because Mount Mitchell is the tallest mountain east of the Mississippi. That is in North Carolina here. All right, 5,500 feet. Tell Otto, our German co-pilot here, to go ahead and capture that. And we'll go ahead and back off the manifold pressure a little bit more. And we'll kind of just go here in a nice loiter kind of here. We've got 12 miles there to go before we get to Sugar Mountain VOR. And Sugar Mountain VOR is exactly what you think it is. It is a VOR on top of a mountain. We've got a ski resort up here on Sugar Mountain too. So as we pass over Sugar Mountain, we will take a look at that, see if we can see the resort. But you can see that right now we are heading almost directly toward Mount Mitchell, right off the nose there. Been on top of Mount Mitchell. Beautiful place to go, beautiful place to hike, beautiful place to do a picnic, all kinds of good stuff there. So as we are now at 5,500 feet, we're in cruise power, so we are set to go. We have also got there we are way down there, but we've got this view set up for when we're chatting. So we got that all set up and go. Get back in the cockpit here. So 5,500 feet, 10 miles to go to Sugar Mountain. And we can actually go into nav mode. And so now Otto, our German co-pilot, will just fly the VOR for us. We'll see how that does. Haven't really flown the Cessna 337 here by Carnado and Microsoft Flight Simulator too much, so actually I think that's Mount Mitchell right there in front of us. Actually, that might be just Sugar Mountain in front of us. Yeah, because I think actually Mount Mitchell's over there off to the north. So this is just Sugar Mountain right here that we're flying over. Yep. Okay. Well, you know, you win some, you lose some. All right. So there we go. We are now intercept with Sugar Mountain VOR. Our VOR number 2, or nav 2, is set up for the outbound courses, which is 120. So, which if I go look on Skymaster is just a little bit of a right turn, it looks like, for us. So everything is looking good. We got 6 miles to go to Sugar Mountain. And we can also go into GPS mode if we want to. So I've got that dialed in right here. So we might even just go GPS mode. But there you can see there's Sugar Mountain. Sierra Uniform Golf, or as we like to say here, Sierra Golf. So yeah, ski resort and all kinds of stuff here on Sugar Mountain. And usually about 2 miles or so from the VOR, so on the DME, which is this right here, the DME, we're 4.4 miles, 4.3 miles. And about 2 miles or so, I'll go in heading mode. And the reason being is because radio navigation with VORs, it gets a little squirrely, and it's hard for the airplane to, track. Just the needle's going to be moving a lot. It's going to get a lot more sensitive. And so it's just a lot better to go into heading mode and then go ahead and fly heading mode for the intercept. So, but what you'll also be seeing is nav 2 is also set up for the outbound course 120. So that's this needle right here. So this will be start to center too. So, all right, 2.5 miles to go, about 2.7. So I'm going to go ahead now and go in heading mode. So now we're in heading mode with Otto, our German co-pilot. And here now is Sugar Mountain. And yes, it's not going to probably be correct, but there is a huge, it's really gaudy, condominium apartment kind of thing for like the ski resort and all that, like Sugar Mountain Lodge, Sugar Mountain Resort. It's really gaudy when you show up. You're like, what is this thing out here in Appalachia? This 14-story or whatever it is. But yeah, this is Sugar Mountain right here, and like I said, there is a ski resort here at Sugar Mountain. So, all right. So with that, let's go ahead now and just start a slight turn here. And what we can do is we can tell here to go in nav 2. Now, Otto, our German co-pilot, should fly the outbound course, which is 120, and it looks like we are perfectly intercept there, as we are now heading down to Chester, South Carolina. But yep, there is Sugar Mountain and the little ski resort that's up there. But right on that bald spot, right there on that ball, that is actually a huge Sugar Mountain tower thing, kind of mini thing, really gaudy. It just really is gaudy. So, but we are on VOR navigation right here, but you can actually see VOR navigation. We're also on to right here. You can also see that's their GPS route, so we've got both set up here. And so with that, I would say let's go ahead and switch over to GPS mode. With GPS mode, let's go back to nav 1 and go down GPS mode. There we go. And so we are now locked onto GPS mode at 5,500 feet. And so with that, let's go ahead and go under the plane. Let's go ahead and put our noise canceling headphones on. There we go. And so yeah, tonight's topic here is space, the final frontier. And well, there's a couple reasons. One is, if you haven't watched any of my previous videos from a long time ago, is I went to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Prescott, Arizona, got my aerospace engineering degree and mathematics degree, but I never sent vehicles to space. It was something that, yeah, just never really happened. Main reason is because when I was graduating in 1994, Boeing and NASA were announcing 20,000 layoffs each, so I didn't even try to go into the space business. And so, yeah, but it obviously always stayed near and dear to my heart. So, with that then, I got into doing other things and yada, yada, yada. And, of course, I always followed NASA. I always did flight sim. And so aviation was always with me, if you want to say. And then, you know, so that's, you know, one thing. So aerospace engineering degree, flying. I am a licensed private pilot. So that, flight sim, being a real pilot, aerospace engineering degree. I've always also just been kept up on all of the space stuff going on. And of course it was, you know, the space shuttle with NASA, and then they retired that vehicle, and then of course we started using Soyuz with the Russians, and I followed that, and then of course the, you know, Russian space station Mir, and now International Space Station, and yada yada yada. And then of course then you started to get things like Virgin Galactic, which I am a shareholder in, and then you started getting SpaceX, and then Blue Origin, you know, with, and I think it's just fascinating to watch, is their New Shepard rocket. Interested to see whatever happens with New Glenn. We'll see. But of course SpaceX with the Falcon Heavy, and all of the milestones clearly that SpaceX has put into the, you know, the space business. So I just kind of tell people these days, you know, space came along like 20 years too late for me, kind of thing. So, and because, you know, Aunt Cindy and I were very well, you know, established in our life, and so, you know, I didn't want to do a big change at over 50 years old, or at least pushing 50. I am over 50, but when SpaceX really started, you know, getting ramped up and all that kind of stuff, I wasn't quite yet 50 years old. And so, yeah, you know, I just didn't change, you know, didn't want to change work, didn't try to, you know, go from one industry to a next. I'm not in the space business at all. So, yeah, but then just recently, because I guess it would be Friday, but then I think I started playing maybe Saturday or Sunday, because I was on a business trip for the past 3 weeks, got home Friday, or a week from tomorrow I got home, you know. So, but yes, got Starfield. Indie Gamer, thumbs up, because you are amazing. What a great review, Indie Gamer. Indie Gamer is here in chat,
So you can go check out his channel where he does amazing reviews on indie games, independent developed games, video games. He just did one about, I'm gonna butcher the name. I can't remember. Is it Janu? I can't remember the name. I know it's something like that, but it's this really cool climbing mechanic. And then also their reviews are just fantastic because Jusant. All right, got it. Jusant. Yeah, it looks like a cool game, I have to say. But as I wrote to you in Discord, man, I am so, wrapped up here in now Starfield. Oh, I said it, Starfield. And Flight Sim and Way of the Hunters. Those are kind of my games, because they align with my life that I've just been talking about, right? Space, aerospace engineering, flying, hunting. You'll start to see probably some YouTube shorts and all that about with hunting here coming up because, well, right over my shoulder over here on my South Carolina deer tag. So pew pew pew. Gonna get the old Howa 243 out because you don't need a big caliber gun to shoot white tails. So that's what we're gonna do. So hey, indie gamer, hey, you're more than welcome. Like I said, I played a lot of games because of you. You can also see a lot of those live streams and all that down in my other playlists that I've got down there of all these independent games. But yeah, so Starfield has come out. So it is what I wanted, what I expected. It's huge. The user interface is something that you've got to look, just kind of get engrossed in. I am going to make, or the character that I made, Armstrong, Space Scoundrel, I'm going to live stream every time I play Starfield. So that could be, I don't know, 50, it could be 100 live streams, I don't know, but I've committed that when I play it, whether I play it for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, because I usually go maybe 2 hours, 2.5, 3 at the tops, that I will live stream, whether it be multiple days. So a lot of times I will schedule Starfield's live streams like 15, 20, 30 minutes before I go live. So, but I'm going to live stream it and all that. So yeah. Yeah, well, thanks, Indie Gamer. Yeah, absolutely. And I needed to get back here into Unusual Attitude, my YouTube podcast here, where we talk about whatever we want to talk about. Because a lot of times in these pilot tubers, they show the takeoff, the landing, but they don't, I was even talking to my buddy. I saw my high school buddy when I was down in Houston on this business trip. He flies for United. He's actually was in my live stream when I flew into Reagan National. Because he flies the Airbus 320 at United, so he was in my chat while I did the live stream. That was amazing. See that also down in my channel here. And we were talking about that. He's like, man, that's what we do in the cockpit. We just chat about bullshit or whatever's going on, So this is my format of my podcast, YouTube podcast, right? I don't port it to Spotify or anything like that. So it's my YouTube podcast, which is just a playlist. I mean, that's really what it is here. So, but I like this because, this is what we can see. You guys can see a view here. You get to see as we're flying basically right along the border here, pretty much between South Carolina and North Carolina, going from Asheville over to Charlotte, and Charlotte's right on the border. So we're actually probably already in South Carolina here. So, but we're just heading down to this little town of Chester. That's where I actually skydived, was in Chester. So, all right, well, I'm digressing now. So, but yeah, it's this is when you come over, Indie Gamer, and you visit me, over here, you visit your aunt and uncle. This is what it looks like. Yep. And so yeah, we're heading to Chester, and then we'll turn north and we'll get back in the cockpit and shoot the ILS into Charlotte. So in our cool Cessna Skymaster here, the vampire plane, a whole nother story. So, but yeah, so Starfield out. It's huge game. The world is huge. The user interface I really like because it's like I'm trying to figure this out, and since I'm not like
meta it, you know, like look up, oh, what's the best build and all this. No, we're Armstrong, space scoundrel. And so for that reason, you know, I'm playing the game, learning, dying, whatever it is, just having a good time, you know, figuring out the game. There's so much to do. So yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely right in my element with Starfield because it is space themed, but it is, you know, it's space Skyrim. Let's be honest. You could be a thief. You could pickpocket people. You go stealthy. You know, it's got a really cool mechanism for lock picking that I really like. It's like a little mini game. You know, and it's got for me so far, it's got okay combat, but I'm not really a combat guy. I'm more of like a, you know, just kind of explore kind of guy. But I don't want to be like just science explorer. I want to kill people too. But I like doing it with like flair, like in game. That's why I like I think it was like Saints Row 4 where you were like you could become like a superhero and all that, because I like the big animations in a game, you know. So that's what I enjoy, not just like the pew, oh, you're dead, you know, kind of thing. I like the, you know, where it's all these crazy animation. That's why Saints Row was so amazing to me, because he had all the crazy weapons and all that, and the animations were just amazing. So, I mean, my favorite space game is Kerbal Space Program. I have a bunch of past live streams that I did with Kerbal Space Program, because that's a physics-based game, so it's like real space. You know, Skyrim or Starfield is not a real, you know, kind of space game. You know, it kind of doesn't break the laws of physics, but it really doesn't necessarily follow them of how, you know, a spaceship would need to move. So, but yeah, so that's why we're doing Space: The Final Frontier. That's the topic here. I mean, there's been a lot of indie games. Since we've got Indie Gamer in here, you know, there's been a lot of cool independent game. I guess they would be considered independent, you know, like Bring Us to Mars and Bring Us the Moon, or Take Us the Moon, something like that. I played one of them, the Moon one, for a little bit. But then it actually had a glitch in it on the Xbox, and it was a game-breaking glitch, so I never went past that. I think I actually deleted the video since I didn't complete the game. So, Deliver Us the Moon. Boom. Yippers. So, you know, and there's a bunch of other, you know, ones that are really neat that you can do, but I like the physics-based game. Obviously, Flight Simulator here is a physics-based game. Kerbal's a physics-based game. Skyrim. Starfield is not necessarily a physics-based game. It's an adventure game, right? But it's ginormous of all the things that you can do. And I can see how there would be repeatability in the game, why people, you know, are already talking about, you know, they have 2, 3, 4 characters. I'm going to have one character, Armstrong, space scoundrel. If you watch any of the reasons why that is because that's the name of our character, Armstrong, because I have a sweatshirt that looks like the Apollo, and it says Armstrong across the front and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, yep, pretty cool, man. It's an amazing. So far, it's been an amazing experience. I think I've got like 12 or 13, 14 hours into it. But again, I just like it because it's got the spaceship, it's got the fighting, so far it's got some puzzles and some secrets. It's got a huge crafting engine that I haven't really kind of figured out much, right, you know, yet. So we'll have to do a little bit more of, you know, exploring and understanding, you know, with that and so on. So real quick here, I'm going to jump into the cockpit and just look and see how we're doing. Woo! I don't know if you can hear that through the damn speakers, but we've got some real weather out the window here. So, all right, let's just go ahead and check on our progress. So let's go ahead and zoom this out a little more. There we are. So yeah, we got some more time to chat. So let's see. I think we can move this. Oop, that's not what I want to do. There we go. So we've got 28 miles to go. We got about 11 minutes before we get to our next intersection. So. But that's the cockpit there. We'll see more of the cockpit once we get closer. We're still at 5,500 feet. Everything auto, our German co-pilot's doing real good for us. So everything is looking good in the neighborhood. So So yeah, I've been good. Thanks, Indie Gamer. Yeah, I've been really good. I don't know if you can really kind of tell, because I'm just using a Logitech camera, and the focal length might not be all good. It might kind of squash my face or something like that. But one of the big things that you'll see on my YouTube channel, a new playlist of YouTube shorts, is health and wellness, or weight loss and wellness and weight loss. Can't really remember how I put it on my channel, but I'm doing YouTube shorts because I'm back in the process of changing my behavior, eating better, putting the right stuff in my body. And so I don't know, I might be even lower now, because I'll actually weigh myself tomorrow morning, Friday mornings. But so far I know confirmed that I have lost 24 pounds here in about 5 or 6 weeks. And so this might start looking a little older, and all this kind of stuff. But I've been real good. So I got a lot of stuff going on. I got D&D stuff going on that'll start up here back in mid to October. Of course, we got the flight simulator stuff going on right here. We've got Starfield going on. Man, we got all kinds. I mean, again, my YouTube channel is not a niche. The niche of my YouTube channel is me. I am 1 in 8 billion people in the world, just like Indie Gamer. And that uniqueness right there is a whole niche for our YouTube channels. That's how I see it. So my YouTube channel is about whatever I want to put on my YouTube channel, because 1 in 8 billion, just like everybody else in the world, is amazing. So yeah, so I've been putting basically YouTube shorts. Right now they've just been like YouTube shorts of weekly updates. And so I've kind of been reorganizing my YouTube channel. I'm back on there. I reorganized and put our travel and Voyager, because our little teardrop camper is called Voyager. So we'll be doing that, because we'll be heading out on an adventure with that here in about 2 weeks. No, two weeks, something like that. 2.5 weeks. We'll be heading out on an adventure there. 2 weeks, because Aunt Cindy turns 50, so we're going on a trip. So I'll be doing some more travel shorts and all that coming up. But yeah, my long format now video is these live streams. So whether it be, every once in a while I might live stream Way of the Hunter, and then I'm live stream here Unusual Attitude, definitely live stream Starfield. But I like the YouTube shorts format, because you got to kind of compress your story down. And then again, like I mentioned just real quickly, but I am back dungeon mastering on Discord. So I've got I do play by post, so we don't get together and play live over the internet or anything. We actually play by posting on Discord. And so I really have got my system that I like. We played a bunch of adventures on a previous server, but now we've got a whole nother server that I'm just starting, called that I'm going to do mini shots, not one shots like is the classic terminology in Dungeons and Dragons world, but mini shots. So they're very small adventures, but you're playing them play by post, and so for that reason it might take 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, depending on how long it takes for everybody to go ahead and and to do that. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on, Indie Gamer. So yeah, I appreciate you asking about how I've been doing. So all's good. Got a lot of hobbies going on, and so yeah. But yep, here we are. Now you can see that we're getting a little bit more busy. Now there's a lot more what do you want to call it, humanity out here, as we have basically left Appalachia. And now we are getting close. We're getting basically down here by the interstate is really what's happening. So off the belly here, that's what you can see. You can actually start to see quite a bit of the infrastructure and the city stuff that's here as we are coming down here toward Chester, South Carolina. Again, that's where I jumped out of an airplane back. Oh man, what has it been? 12 years ago I jumped out of an airplane. Because there is clearly a skydiving place at Chester Airport. So But yeah, we can always just jump real quick back in and just see how we're doing. So we got just a little under 6 minutes here before we get to where we'll jump back in the cockpit and start to work our way here onto the Instrument Landing System, or ILS, into runway 36 right into Charlotte International Airport, and I will make it clear. So, skydiving was amazing. I think you might be able to look up Uncle Mike skydiving. I'm not sure if I've got it on my YouTube channel, because, you know, I paid to have a cameraman, so we got on video. So, and I think I captured it digitally from that and then put it on my YouTube channel. But it was amazing. So, yeah, I jumped out of an airplane because you probably can't see it, but back up there on the shelf are Ranger jump wings, because a gentleman who amazing, a gentleman who worked for me at the time was an ex-Army Ranger, so he told me about him jumping out of helicopters and airplanes when he was an Army Ranger. And he told me about this one time. He was just like, man, he jumped out of the airplane. He's like, whoo, and there was a cloud coming. He's like, I'm going through the cloud. Yeah, and so he was like, man, you gotta jump out of an airplane. And I was like, you know what, Skip, I will jump out of an airplane on my 40th birthday. And I did on my birthday year, my 40th birthday year. Had to lose weight then too. Jumped out of an airplane, and the amazing thing was, two amazing, beautiful things that actually happened. One is when we went up 14,500 feet, jumped out of the airplane, there was a cloud. So on my first jump, boom, I got to go through the cloud. You can actually see it in the video. It is amazing. So, hey, Shimizu, thumbs up because you are amazing. Thank you for joining this 8th episode of Unusual Attitude, where we talk about whatever we want to talk about in the cockpit as we do a flight here in Microsoft Flight Simulator on the Xbox Series X. We are just about to jump back into the cockpit here pretty soon, as we are now getting close to Chester, South Carolina, where we will start to work our way to intercept the ILS, the Instrument Landing System, runway 36 right into Charlotte International Airport here at 5,500 feet in the Cessna Skymaster. You want to see what the Cessna Skymaster looks like? That is the Cessna Skymaster. That is a wicked designed Cessna. I actually did my internship when I was getting my aerospace degree at Cessna Aircraft Company in Wichita, Kansas. So that was pretty cool too. So yeah, jumping out of an airplane, it's so fascinating too. Well, that's cool. Cool. I've been to Kyoto. Chesterfield, South Carolina. Yeah, Chesterfield. Yeah, we are going to Chester. We're flying over Chester here real soon. So, but yeah, that's cool. Hey, man, small world, you know? 1 in 8 billion. It's amazing, isn't it? It is just absolutely amazing. But going back to jumping out of an airplane now. The fascinating thing is people are like, oh my God, you're falling and all this kind of stuff. You don't ever feel falling, and the reason being is because your velocity vector only changes direction, because you're in the airplane, so you're already going fast. And so when you jump out of the airplane, you don't really speed up or or anything like that. There's no feeling of falling or anything like that. It is just absolutely amazing. So, yep. That is a classic right there, isn't it? All right, let me just check, see how much we only got we got 90 seconds here before we get to our waypoint here, where the plane should actually, Otto, our German co-pilot, should make a slight turn here to the left when we get there. So I'm going to go ahead and go in the cockpit that way. But here is... we are now down here. I think we're by Chester County. I don't think this is Rock Hill. Oh, this might be Rock Hill. Yeah, this is Rock Hill. Chester is out over there. This is Rock Hill, South Carolina. I can tell because I can see the river up there off the left wing, and I can see the single runway airport there. That's Rock Hill. So Chester County has got a, it was an old base airport, so it's got crossing runways right here. So, but we're just about to go ahead and intercept here. Yeah, Chester is then like out over there, but that's where off the right wing tip, that's where I deer hunt. Oh yeah. So, oh yeah, definitely a classic. That is one of those classic movies. But yeah, that's Rock Hill right there. And so we've only got 15 seconds here, so we're going to go ahead and jump back in the cockpit here. I'm going to go ahead and go back into gaming mode. That way you guys can see more of the flight sim. So here we go. Auto should do a slight left turn here. So we'll see what happens here. We'll just monitor auto. German co-pilots. You gotta watch them. You know what I'm saying? You gotta watch them. So yeah, we went on to heading mode. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back on nav mode. Here comes now the turn. I just looked down. I can see the mode selector on the autopilot. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure here that everything looks good in the neighborhood. Yep. Okay. Auto's now. He's gonna intercept. All right, so what we also need to do now is we're going to come back on the power. We're coming back on the power, and we're going to go ahead and start our descent. We need to send on down to 2,500 feet on the old altimeter. So I'm going to come over here. I'm looking at the approach plate over here for ILS runway 36 right. And so, yeah, we need to send down to 2,500 feet. So we are now descending out 5,200 feet as we descend on down here, and then we will work on intercept. So I'm actually going to go ahead, so that we're all set up, I'm going to go ahead and go into heading mode. Tell auto to go ahead and just keep flying that heading. We're going to come over here, and we are going to switch this over. This is the ILS frequency. So there it is. KCLT, ILS runway 36 right. Very good. We're going to switch this over. So now this instrument right here, and we are going to now set that for runway 36. There we go. So we are set up now for the ILS. That way we can tell auto to also fly it too for us. So, all right. So I am on the Series X. So yep, I fly it with a controller and a keyboard. So yep, here I am. So see the beautiful X. I guess you could probably use this on a PC, but yep, I am on Xbox Series X. That's a whole nother story of why I left PC flight simming to come to Xbox. It's a whole nother story. So, all right, passing through 4,200 feet. We are in heading mode here. We're going to go ahead and start to make our left turn here to kind of intercept, work on getting to intercept the localizer. So what I am watching for here is this yellow needle. We'll start to center when we're on course. We're following the orange triangle right now. But when that orange needle centers, then we need to fly that heading to intercept the instrument landing system in Charlotte, runway 36 right. So, all right, here we go. So I am going to go ahead and tell auto to go ahead and fly. So auto, our German co-pilot, now has got the controls. So he has still got the control. We still got time. We still got time we got to fly to the north here for a while. So yeah, I have a joystick and throttle and all that, but it just clutters up the desk, and I play other games, and so yeah, flying on the controller is really good. The keyboard really helps out because you can bind all the instruments, stuff. So all right, passing 3,200 feet. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love flight sim, is because this old school. I mean, I do fly the new avionics, which give you way much more situational awareness and way much more data. But this right here, I mean, see, if you look over here, you can actually kind of see our basic route. I can like zoom way out on this. So there's Charlotte. See, I mean, that's what we're doing now. We're just flying north, right? And so, but I really like, this is the kind of airplanes I learned to fly on. So, you know, I like this stuff because it reminds me of, you know, it's old school and it's more situational awareness. You get the data, but you got to picture it. You don't have a moving map, you know, right here. And so the new avionics, we're going to go ahead and go into heading mode, or altitude hold there at 2,500 feet. All right, so now we're just going to fly. Auto's going to basically take us most of the way down here. So, all right, so with that, we're going to go ahead. We're leveled off. We're going to slow down here. Under 140 knots. 140 knots. Gear's coming down. Watch this gear animation. Look at that. The barn door is open. And the wheels will help slow us down too. This plane's pretty slippery. So here come the gear. Oh, that's awesome right there, right? That's amazing. All right, jump back in the cockpit now as we're slowing down. Auto's still flying us though. But now we got the gear down, so now that'll help slow us down here, so we don't have to really change any power settings or anything like that. Just let the drag of those wheels slow us down, but we don't need to keep fidgeting with stuff. That's one thing that happens. People are so fixated on, like, with the new avionics, you know, the digital avionics. They get blinders on. That's how I say it, blinders on. You know, with this, you know. So, all right, I gotta suspend here, but I don't know if I should have suspend on. All right, I'm gonna zoom in here. All right, looking good. I'm coming over here. I'm just looking at the approach plate. So when we get to Ohio, we should be at 2,500 feet. So here's Lancer. Oh, we got a ways to go. We got a ways to go. We're good there. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in a little more. There, okay, maybe that is zoomed in. All right, so there's Lancer, and then there's all the other ones. So we got time. Everything's looking good in the neighborhood. But yeah, just all this. I like to have that old school data, and then you have to kind of like figure out, right, with maps and all this, like what is all those instruments telling us where we're at, rather than just having a moving map like this that just, you know, tells you everything you know. That's much safer. Right, and or not necessarily safer. That's not really true. There might be too much relying on that. But to me, what there is that, so there might be too much reliance, which means there might be too much confidence, and so then people do things they really shouldn't do. Where, you know, if you're flying the old school steam gauges like this, or what it's called, you know, you got to have this mental image of where you're at in, you know, in spatial orientation and stuff, and so you're a little bit more concerned, right? You know, cautious about it. I remember learning to fly out in Arizona, and man, you know, we had terrain, we had mountains, we're up in Prescott, so that's up in northern Arizona, and so you had mountains you had to worry about. You know, navigation was a lot of, you know, either higher altitudes and higher density altitudes. And so you had to do a lot more visual navigation. I'm not an instrument rated pilot, but when you did the instruments, you know, a lot of times you wouldn't be able to pick up the instrument because there's a mountain blocking the radio navigation. So yeah, so you'll see that I fly a lot of these old school kind of airplanes with these kind of, you know, dashes. Let's go ahead and, you know, call it that, right? The instrument panel. So all right, look for it. There's the runway in sight. You see the runway right out there? I'll go ahead. You can see the runway. There we are. There is Charlotte. So I am expecting right here that triangle to start coming down, because that's our glide slope. That's telling us our glide slope. But if something happens, we will just go off. We'll just kick auto out of here, and we will go ahead and fly it by hand, because hell yeah, I fly by hand. So, all right, we're going to slow the plane down. We're going to go ahead and put 1 notch of flaps in, which means we're going to need to go ahead and add just a little bit of power probably. So now we got some flaps in. You can see the flaps now are dialed in there. Needle is alive, so you can now see that triangle. That triangle's coming down. There it is, right there. There's that triangle. That's going to tell us we're going to follow that. That's like the triangle is our glide slope. So, and you'll see auto here. We're on autopilot. It'll all of a sudden drop the nose here as auto intercepts. There comes the intercept. He has now started the descent. So we'll go ahead and add a notch of flaps. Some more flaps coming in. Look at that. That's cool looking plane right there. Oh yeah. So looking good in the neighborhood. And we're gonna go flaps 3. So there we go. Nice big old flaps. Oh yeah. Now we'll just go ahead and get our power setting what we wanted. For the approach, auto still got us here. Charlotte Airport is at 700 feet, so at about 1,600 feet or so, we will go ahead and tell auto, kick it auto, and I will fly the plane all the way down. This plane is very sensitive. You can see that it's got a very big horizontal stabilizer and elevator. It's huge. I mean, look at that thing. It's just a ginormous thing. So it's very sensitive in pitch. So, and I don't fly this too often, so I'm not expecting necessarily great things here with this landing, but we shall see here. So, I mean, it's beautiful weather, so we're good to go here. But again, there was a reason why I chose 3-6 right. Oh, there's Charlotte. You can see downtown Charlotte, North Carolina out there. Yep. And so here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and move the seat forward so we get a better view. Oh, there we go. So you can still see all the instruments. Again, auto, we are coming up on 1,600. We decided, what did we say, like 1,300 or something like that. We'll kick auto off and I'll fly it on down the remaining 500 feet. So, all right, so with that, we're gonna go ahead and go props full. So we're gonna change the pitch of the prop, give us more RPMs. So there we go, in case we need to go around, in case you got some kind of wacko or something on the runway. Looking good in the neighborhood. You said it, Indie Gamer. Thumbs up because you are amazing. All right, 1,300, and so that is the autopilot is off. We are flying the plane. See, woohoo, little wing wag. Just tell everybody we are here. So now I'll just go ahead and fly the plane on down here. Come back on the power, just a little fast now for the approach. We can go ahead and switch back to this view. Can't really see much here. I could land it in that view for you. All right, a little low now. See those 3 red lights and that 1 white. Should be 2 red, 2 whites if we were like dead ass on, but I'm not too worried about it. Speed looks good. Trim, trim. As Blanco Lirio would say, trim, trim, trim. Over the Billy Graham Parkway. I think it's Billy Graham Parkway. And looking good, looking good. We got plenty of runway, so I mean, this is a big old international airport. So, and there we go, 3-6 right. We're seeing 3-6 right there on the old under the nose. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fly it down the runway here. Slowly come off on the power. Slowly come off on the power. And come to flight idle now. Oh, not bad, not bad, not bad. So, yep, welcome to Charlotte here. And this is why I wanted to land on 3-6 right, is because this is a really Charlotte's a joint base with the National Guard, Air National Guard, and they fly C-17s out of here. So there are the C-17s. Cool beans. So that is why. Yeah, butter farmer, huh? That's what I'm talking about. I'm glad you can identify such a fantastic pilot. But yeah, they're the C-17s. That's pretty cool. For the North Carolina Air National Guard, they just in the last, I don't know, a couple of years or so, well, maybe it's been like 5 years, they went from C-130s to the C-17s. So that's cool. All right, flaps coming up, and we are gonna taxi on over here. Usually I don't do a lot of taxiing on the live stream for unusual attitude, but we're gonna taxi over here, and the reason being is because over here is an air museum, and if you remember, which I think everybody probably does, the Miracle on the Hudson. Oh yeah, they're badass, man. C-17s are badass. Man, if you get a chance to go down to the Mach Loop, that's where you need, over in Wales, that's where you need to go. You need to go, or if you don't know what that is, you need to look it up. Mach Loop, M-A-C-H. So Mike Alpha Charlie Hotel Loop, L-U-L-O-O-P, Mach Loop. Yeah. But over here is an air museum that's got some old planes and I think an old C-130 and all this. The animation doesn't look too good. The modeling doesn't look too good because it looks like these airplanes don't have landing gear. But in the hangar here at the Air Museum is Cactus 1549. You might be saying, what is Cactus 1549, Uncle Mike? That is actually the call sign. I'm going to go ahead and stop right up here. That's a good place to stop. It is the call sign of the American, well, U.S. Airways at the time, U.S. Airways flight that crash landed in the Hudson River, Miracle on the Hudson. And so, yeah, in this air museum is the actual plane from Miracle on the Hudson, right? Sully, right? And all those, right? So from the movie and all that kind of stuff, Sully. And so, yeah. The plane is actually here in Charlotte. It's in that hangar right there at the Air Museum. So, yeah, you ought to check out the Mach Loop because it is amazing. If you're in Wales or something like, or if you're near it, you ought to go out there because it's got, you know, I think places where photographers, and so basically it's a low-level military training route over there. So, maybe sometime I'll live stream. We'll get a jet fighter. Here in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we will go ahead and maybe fly the Mach Loop ourselves. That right there would be amazing. So, but yeah, this has been episode 8 of Unusual Attitude, my YouTube podcast, where we fly Microsoft Flight Simulator to Xbox Series X, and then we get up to altitude, and we, in the cockpit, we talk about whatever we want. Usually I post the topic, but it didn't have to stay that topic. And I also post the route and all that kind of stuff here on my YouTube channel. So we have finished our flight here from Asheville, North Carolina to Charlotte, North Carolina. But we got to fly into South Carolina for a little bit because just we shot that ILS approach right here in the Cessna Skymaster, the 337 Skymaster by Carinado, if you're interested. So a very nice airplane and model here. So, but yep, with that, I will say, click that like button if you do. Subscribe if you haven't, comment, share. Come join me in chat in a future live stream, just like Indie Gamer here, who is amazing. Check out Indie Gamer. All right, you can just do a search for the Indie Gamer, and you'll get his channel where he does reviews and all kinds of amazing things with independent developed games, video games out there. So take a look at that because he's amazing. Also, thumbs up because you are amazing. I'm your favorite YouTuber's favorite uncle. I am Uncle Mike. Bye, everybody. Bye, Indie Gamer. Bye, she kill you. Bye, thanks for joining. You are amazing. And I am out of here. Very cool. Oh, that was fun. That was fun to get back into doing. Take care. Bye, Indy. It was cool to get back in the cockpit, back to live streaming again, put my flying eyes on. So I'll see you next time in episode 9.